Welcome to Love by Design, the podcast for high achieving women who are ready to stop performing for love and start building it from truth, from alignment. Welcome back to Love by Design. My name is Joan, and I want to wish you a very warm welcome to today's episode. So, I've been away over the last week and a half in Colombia, in the jungle, sitting for the very first time with Mother Ayahuasca. And let me just say that the messaging came through loud and clear. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. And I'm going to be talking about going forward. So if you've been missing episodes, well, you don't want to miss any episode going forward. But for today, let me ask you a question about your current relationship, or if you're single, let's look at your last relationship. If I were to ask you what frequency you were operating from when you chose those partners, what would you say it was? And I'm not talking about vibes or chemistry or favorite pizza topping or any superficial thing. I'm talking about consciousness. Were you choosing from 5D consciousness, which is soul-led, aligned, and conscious? Or were you choosing from 3D consciousness, which is ego-driven, fear-based, and conditioned? Because the more and more I look at this, it's becoming more apparent that most people think that they're actually choosing from a place of consciousness. But when you really look at what is going on, what they're really choosing based off of, what their list, their checklist, their man list or woman list is, they're choosing from conditioning. They're choosing from what they were taught love should look like. So it could be what your family modeled, so your parents or the parental figures around you. It could be from social media. It could be from the fear of being alone. It could be from the need or desire to have children. It could be from the need to prove something to the world, or from a wound that's trying to heal itself through another person. That's all 3D. That's where 3D love lives. And we've all been there. I've been there. I was there for many, 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 many decades. But there's another way, and this is what I'm calling 5D love. This is all about soul-aligned, truth-based, conscious love. And the difference between these two changes everything. So today, I want to start by breaking it down so you can see what 3D love is and what 5D love is. So let's start with 3D love. So I already mentioned that 3D love is ego-based love. So it's operating from fear, from conditioning, from all of the narratives, what society said, what the good book and any other book said. It's all about this illusion of separation. It was what we were taught that love looks like, how it actually works. And so when you put this in practice, it looks like us constantly performing to be chosen. If I did this, if I did that, then I will be chosen. We don't show up as our true selves. We show up as the version that we think will attract the person. Because you think that if you showed up as your true self, you wouldn't be accepted. We become extremely agreeable even when you have opinions. We're told to stay quiet, to shrink ourselves. We're told to be flexible rather than having boundaries. If something is a deal breaker, just say it's a deal breaker, not, oh, I can compromise, we can walk around it. No, we're taught to be low maintenance rather than voicing what your actual needs are. That's not love. That's ego fear of rejection. You're choosing partners based on something external, on external validation. So does he have the right job? Does she look the right way? Are they from the right family, the right status, right beauty, success, impressive? Your friends approve. Your parents love it. It makes sense to everyone. It makes sense on paper. But when you're alone with this partner, you kind of feel empty because you didn't choose soul alignment. You chose 3D validation. You were operating from fear. Again, all those fears of being alone, time running out, being left out of some married kids club. No, all those decisions are fear driven, and it has nothing to do with the truth of who you are. And now it's time to heal through all of them, to heal through all those decisions that we've been making to prove our worth just so that we can be chosen. It is time for soul partnership. So what is 5D? What does 5D soul-based love look like? Well, it is love operating from truth, alignment, and knowing, not believing, not hoping, knowing that you are already whole. It's not about what you were taught. It's not about what you read. It's not about what your therapist, your dating coach, your spiritual teacher, leader, whoever. It's not about what you saw your parents call a relationship or a marriage growing up. It's what your soul remembers. So here's what it looks like. You show up as your true self. No performance, no shrinking, no hiding. You show up in your full, beautiful essence. And the other person doesn't just accept you. They choose you because of who you are, not what you do, not what you bring to the table, who you are. Your light doesn't threaten them, it ignites them. Soul alignment is the basis of your choice, not some ego validation. So you're not asking questions like, does this look good? You're asking, does this feel true? You're not choosing based on status or optics. We look good together, power couple. No. You're choosing based on resonance, on frequency, on soul recognition. You're now operating from truth, no longer fear. Every decision comes from the simple question, what is true for me? Is this true for me? And feed into it and see what the answer is. So it's no longer, oh my God, what if I'm alone forever? What if this is my last chance? What if I can make him work? What if I can fix her? What if I can do this? No, that's all chasing some potential, right? So you see the reality, you see their humanity, you see their edges, and you choose them. Not who they potentially can become, no, but who they are. And in that relationship, you are both evolving. It isn't about one person dragging the other person, trying to force them. No, you are both committed to your growth of your consciousness. Both of you are willing to look at your shadows. You're willing to hold space for each other. You're choosing to grow. So in this kind of relationship, in a 5D kind of relationship, conflict, because there still will be conflict because we all have shadows that we're working through, right? Conflict becomes alchemy. So you're not avoiding the hard conversations. You move toward them because you know that this is how you grow. In the 5D world, conflict is medicine. It is what shows you the mirrors that still needs healing, shows you the parts of you that maybe you haven't been able to see, and the relationship is here to trigger that and to bring that to the forefront. So you don't bypass it, you walk through it. So both of you are now expanding together. You're not shrinking your dreams, you're growing your dreams. Your voice is no longer quiet, your voice is strong. Your light doesn't dim, it amplifies, because 5D love does not and will never ask you to be less. It will only invite you to be more. That is 5D love. Soul alignment, soul recognition, truth, expansion, consciousness. That's what it's all about. Okay, so here's one thing I want you to understand, and I think it's pretty important. A lot of relationships exist in both frequencies. So it's not that you're completely failing if you're only seeing 3D patterns in a relationship. We all have ego, all have conditioning, we all have shadows that we're still working our way through. So the question isn't, oh my God, is this 100% 5D? The question is really, am I aware of which frequency I'm in? And am I willing to raise it? So you can start off a relationship in the 3D and then shift into 5D. It's a spectrum of consciousness. And the more you keep working on it and working through it, the more you would be tapping into the higher frequencies of the relationship in the 5D world. So the goal is to start choosing from consciousness, not from comfort or from fear of what you're used to. I strongly believe that relationships are a tool for consciousness, for awakening, for rising in consciousness, because in relationships, all your patterns show up. All the areas of you that still needs to go through healing or acceptance or integration shows up, and you can start to see more of who you are and start to raise your frequency from 3D to 5D. So the first step is always awareness. Like anything to do with spirituality or consciousness, it's always about awareness, because you can't raise your frequency if you don't even know which one you're in. So start noticing in your choices, in your dating, in your relationships, where am I performing, right? Where am I still wearing these masks? Am I making decisions or choosing from fear? Where am I still operating from my ego self instead of my soul? And then keep asking your soul the question, am I choosing this person from fear or truth? Am I choosing from ego validation or from soul alignment? And if the answer is fear or ego, then you know that that's 3D. That's a 3D choice. The next thing you want to do is get clear on your soul design. And like I keep saying, it's not about what you saw or what society said. It's about understanding how you are uniquely wired energetically for love. And that's where the love gates comes in. The love gates is just one piece of your entire human design, but it's a great starting point for relationships so that you can start to understand how you are naturally wired, where you've been conditioned, and what some of those not self patterns are, so that you can start healing from those and start shifting your consciousness. And then the more you work on this, the more you embody, the more you integrate, you will find that the 5D consciousness becomes your natural frequency, so that you're constantly and consistently choosing from there. So that's the basic introduction to 3D and 5D love. Like I said, I'm going to be going way deeper into some of the spiritual truths over the next few months, and just sharing how the new era of love has completely shifted. We are no longer operating from 3D. Yes, it's still here, but those are lower frequencies. Those are lower vibrations of love. The world is now shifting into a higher state of consciousness, a new era of love, where we need to be choosing from the soul. And those are some of the things that I'm going to be sharing. So let me know how this landed for you. Let me know if you know that you have been choosing more from the 3D and would like to shift into the 5D, because that's what my work is. My work is to help you shift to 5D higher frequencies so that you can choose soul-led, soul-aligned love that can help you evolve in this human experiment. It's that simple. So thank you very much for joining me this week. Don't forget to download your Love Gates report. I also have a new connection chart tool that you can look at the dynamics in terms of love gates between you and a partner or somebody that you're dating, so that you can start to see where some of the potential challenges and strengths of that relationship might be. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you same time next week. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. And if it stirred something in you, trust that alignment isn't a concept, it is a calling. And if you're feeling the nudge to take this work deeper, then I want you to go ahead and book your Aligned Love Assessment, where we map your patterns, reveal what's keeping you stuck, and explore your journey to aligned love. You can book your session at joannwosu.com. Until next time, remember, you're not here to earn love, you are here to embody it. So keep dating by design, not by default. See you next week.